This is the AEW Dynamite June 24, 2026, full show results video, featuring all the action from the Rio Rancho Events Center in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. The show opens backstage with the Death Riders. Jon Moxley fires up the group, urging them to keep fighting, support one another, and never stop moving. The faction then unites in a spinning huddle before heading out. Then we saw a match between Bandido and Mistico versus Death Riders. The six-man tag team match was packed with fast-paced action from the opening bell. Bandido and Wheeler Yuta started with an impressive display of athleticism before Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli used their power and experience to gain control. The Death Riders frequently bent the rules, with Marina Shafir and Yuta getting involved at ringside. Mistico and Brody King helped shift momentum back to their team with high-flying offense and powerful strikes, leading to several chaotic sequences. After the commercial break, the action intensified as all six competitors traded big moves. Brody King nearly turned the tide with a huge lariat on Moxley, but the match eventually broke down into chaos. In the end, Jon Moxley pinned Brody King with a folding press, securing the victory for the Death Riders. Renee Paquette interviewed the conglomeration, Darby Allin and Konosuke Takashida ahead of their upcoming battle. Darby admitted he doesn't feel fully prepared but sees the match as a chance to get back at MJF. Roderick Strong expressed his hatred for MJF over what he did to Adam Cole, while Orange Cassidy jokingly promised everyone would have backpacks. Kyle O'Reilly wondered where Mark Briscoe was before confirming he would compete later tonight. After the group left, Cassidy appeared uneasy, telling Renee, "It's fine," before they quickly exited the area. Then we saw the survival of the fittest qualifying match between Harley Cameron versus Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir came out aggressively, attacking Harley Cameron before the opening bell and controlling the early stages of the match. Shafir maintained the advantage with powerful strikes, throws, and submission-based offense, while Cameron fought back with a wrecking ball dropkick, a crossbody, and a spirited comeback after the commercial break. The action intensified as Harley landed several strikes and nearly turned the tide with a half-crab submission. Shafir responded with a sleeper hold, but Cameron escaped and caught her off guard with a sudden bridging pin. The upset victory earned Harley Cameron a place in the survival of the fittest match for the vacant AEW TBS Championship. A video package highlighted the upcoming Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament final between Mercedes and Maya World. Maya spoke about waiting her entire career for this opportunity, while Mercedes dismissed her challenger with confidence and insults. The former champion vowed that this would not be Maya's Cinderella story, insisting that dreams alone are not enough to succeed. Mercedes closed the package with a bold statement, declaring, "Dreams don't win championships, I do." The next match happened between El Fantasmo versus Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay and El Fantasmo delivered a fast-paced and highly competitive encounter filled with athletic counters and near falls. The match began with a technical feeling-out process as both men exchanged quick strikes, evasions, and lucha-inspired sequences before Ospreay gained the early advantage with a sharp dropkick. After the commercial break, the action intensified as both competitors traded hard-hitting offense, including elbows, kicks, and dramatic momentum shifts. Ospreay appeared to have the match won with a Spanish fly, while Fantasmo stayed alive after several close calls of his own. The crowd was on edge as the near falls continued to pile up. In the closing moments, Ospreay connected with a Styles Clash, followed by the Hidden Blade to secure the victory. As Will Ospreay takes his leave, Prince Nana makes his entrance, heralding Shane Swerve Strickland ahead of our next match. The next match happened between Daniel Garcia versus Shane Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland and Daniel Garcia battled in a physical, hard-hitting contest that showcased both competitors' toughness and determination. The match started with intense exchanges as both men traded strikes before Swerve gained the early advantage with powerful offense. Garcia responded by targeting Strickland's leg, slowing him down and creating several opportunities to take control. After the commercial break, the action escalated with near falls and momentum swings, including Garcia connecting with a Styles Clash for a dramatic 2-count. Strickland fought through the damage to his leg and eventually regained control with a jumping reverse STO and a house call. In the closing moments, Swerve sent a message to Will Ospreay before finishing Garcia with the Hidden Blade for the victory. After the match, Will Ospreay rushed to the ring and brawled with Swerve Strickland. Prince Nana tripped Ospreay from ringside, allowing Swerve to level him with a house call. The Death Riders then arrived, forcing a retreat as Strickland and Ospreay exchanged a tense stare-down. Backstage, Don Callis and MJF rallied the Don Callis family ahead of Forbidden Door. Kevin Knight vowed to send Darby Allin back to the hospital and demanded a future title shot from MJF, while Kyle Fletcher promised to prove why he is the chosen one against Konosuke Takashida. MJF then took over the segment, boasting about himself and taking shots at Mark Briscoe while praising the strength of his team. He also addressed the group's recent issues, particularly those involving Andrade, and demanded greater unity. To boost morale, Callis unveiled custom team shirts featuring himself and MJF in a humorous design, leaving the group with mixed reactions. The next match happened between Jungle Man Jack Perry vs Zack Saber Jr. Zack Saber Jr. and Jack Perry engaged in a highly technical battle centered around submissions, counters, and relentless mat wrestling. Saber controlled much of the early action with his superior grappling, constantly targeting Perry's arm and shoulder, while Perry relied on quick counters and explosive offense to stay competitive. The match spilled to the floor several times, where both men exchanged hard-hitting attacks and dangerous submission attempts. After the commercial break, the intensity increased as Perry landed a Shiranui on the apron and Orihara Moonsault, and nearly scored the win with the snare trap and a Tiger Driver. However, Saber's incredible resilience and technical mastery proved decisive. In the closing moments, he trapped Perry in a brutal arm scissors half-crab combination, forcing the submission victory. The next match happened between TMDK versus the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks controlled much of the match, but Mikey Nicholls and Bad Dude Tito mounted a strong comeback with power offense and quick tags. Nicholls nearly scored an upset after crotching Matt Jackson on the ropes, while Tito showcased his strength with a fallaway slam. Nick Jackson shifted the momentum back in his team's favor with a series of athletic counters and high-flying attacks. The Bucks then unleashed a super kick party before finishing the match with the Meltzer driver to secure the victory. After the match, TMDK attacked the Young Bucks until Kenny Omega rushed to the ring to make the save. Omega and Zack Saber Jr. immediately came face-to-face and exchanged strikes before Kenny dropped him with a dragon suplex. As Omega prepared for a V-trigger, TMDK pulled Saber to safety. Omega then vowed to defeat Saber at Forbidden Door, while ZSJ fired back with a sharp warning, telling Kenny to try and stay out of hospital, darling. Then we saw the survival of the fittest qualifying match between Red Velvet vs Queen Aminata. Queen Aminata and Red Velvet delivered a competitive, back-and-forth battle filled with momentum swings and near falls. Aminata used her power advantage early, including a German suplex and a running knee, while Velvet answered with quick counters, roll-ups, and a big powerbomb from the corner. After the commercial break, Velvet controlled stretches of the match and nearly scored the victory with the Shadows over Hellfrog Splash, but Aminata kicked out. The pace intensified as both women traded strikes and signature offense, with Velvet landing a basement superkick and Aminata responding with a crushing headbutt. In the closing moments, Queen Aminata connected with her head to secure the pinfall victory and qualify for the survival of the fittest match for the vacant AEW TBS Championship. Renee Paquette interviewed the Young Bucks, who confidently declared they were climbing back to the top of the tag team division and planned to make a statement at Forbidden Door. The segment was quickly interrupted when Adam Copeland and Christian Cage brawled with the War Dogs backstage, sending the fight through hallways and into another room. Copeland and Cage initially gained the advantage, but the War Dogs fought back, with David Finlay using hairspray to shift momentum. The group then choked out the champions with cables before standing tall and declaring their superiority over their rivals. The next match happened between Konosuke Takashida vs Ricochet for the AEW International Championship. With everyone banned from ringside, Konosuke Takashida and Ricochet delivered an incredible AEW International Championship main event filled with high-risk offense and dramatic near falls. Ricochet came out aggressively, landing a springboard lariat, a space-flying tiger drop, and multiple aerial attacks that nearly ended the match early. Takashida weathered the storm and responded with his trademark power offense, including a Blue Thunder driver, German suplex variations, and a devastating Tenryo powerbomb. The action reached another level as both men survived each other's signature moves, drawing loud "This is awesome" chants from the crowd. Ricochet even resorted to using the referee as a shield to create an opening, but it was not enough. In the end, Takashida connected with Power Drive Knee and the Raging Fire to retain the AEW International Championship. Mark Briscoe closed the show with a passionate promo about the Forbidden Door main event, emphasizing his team's success in chaotic multi-man battles and his determination to earn an AEW World Championship opportunity. Briscoe aimed at MJF, reminding everyone that he had already defeated him once and promising to do it again. He also questioned the loyalty of the Don Callis family, arguing that their alliance with Friedman was built on convenience rather than trust. Don Callis appeared to confront Briscoe, creating a distraction that allowed MJF to attack from behind. The situation quickly erupted into a massive brawl involving members of both teams, with several competitors hitting signature moves and momentum constantly shifting. Tensions even surfaced within the Don Callis family as MJF accidentally struck Andrade. In the end, Briscoe stood tall by planting Friedman with the J Driller to close the show. How would you rate this week's AEW Dynamite show? Tell me in the comments section, and thanks for watching the video.